I didn't think much of it when Emma joked about Vegas. We were standing in the kitchen, her laughter echoing off the marble countertops, her eyes glinting that familiar mischief I used to fall for so easily. "You know," she said, twirling a spoon between her fingers, "maybe I should go to Vegas with the girls. Blow off some steam. Who knows? Maybe I'll come back married to Mike Tyson." She laughed, waiting for me to join in. But I didn't. I just leaned against the counter, staring at her, and said quietly, "Funny you mention Vegas. Mike texted me about it this morning." The smile slid right off her face. It started a week earlier, innocently, or so I thought. Emma had been distant for a while. The kind of distance you can't measure in miles or hours, but in silence. In the way she stopped reaching for my hand while watching TV. The way her goodnight kisses had turned into faint, perfunctory pecks on the cheek. First, I told myself it was stress. She worked long hours at the firm, had demanding clients, and the weight of perfectionism she always carried like armor. But even armor cracks eventually. Then, 3 nights ago, I woke up to the soft glow of her phone lighting up our bedroom. 2:47 a.m. Emma was asleep beside me, her back turned. The screen blinked once, twice, then stilled. I told myself to ignore it, but curiosity, that cruel parasite, burrowed deep. The message preview read, "Mike, can't stop thinking about last weekend. You looked incredible." Froze. Her coworker. The one she'd mentioned a dozen times before. Smart, witty, harmless. The one she claimed was happily married. My throat went dry. I didn't open the phone, not yet. I just lay there in the darkness, staring at the screen until it went black again, my pulse roaring in my ears. When the alarm went off that morning, Emma stretched lazily and smiled at me like nothing had happened. "Morning, babe," she said, pressing a soft kiss to my forehead. I forced a smile back. "Morning." For the next few days I watched. Quietly. Emma was careful, too careful. She always kept her phone face down, her messages cleared, her tone cheerful but distant. She'd started dressing differently for work, too. More effort, more perfume, more confidence. I noticed every detail, cataloging each one like clues in a crime I didn't want to solve. Then came the girls' weekend. "Babe," she said that Friday morning, pouring herself coffee, "I'm thinking of heading to Vegas with the girls next weekend. Just a quick getaway. You know, unwind, gossip, get drunk, that sort of thing." Kept my face neutral. "Vegas, huh? Yeah. Just the girls," she said quickly, almost too quickly. "You wouldn't survive all that shopping and brunching anyway." "True," I said with a small smile. "Who's going?" She rattled off a few names. Sarah, Jenna, Melissa, but not Mike. Course not Mike. That night, after she fell asleep, I messaged Sarah from my phone. Sarah had always liked me, maybe too much. She'd once told me I deserved better than someone who works late every night. I typed carefully. "Hey, quick question. Emma said you guys are going to Vegas next weekend." The reply came fast. "Vegas? Haha, no, I wish. We haven't planned anything like that." "Why?" I stared at the screen for a long time, then simply replied, "No reason." By Monday morning, the ache in my chest had turned into something colder, resolve. I needed proof, not paranoia. So I called Mike. He sounded surprised. "Hey man, what's up?" Kept my tone casual. "Just checking in. Emma said you're helping her with that client in Reno next weekend." There was a pause. Long one. "Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right. Reno," I repeated. "Yeah. Business trip." "Right," I said softly. "Reno." But I knew. God, I knew. That night, I went through Emma's bag while she showered. Her travel itinerary printed neatly. Her favorite red dress tucked into her suitcase. And the destination. Las Vegas. When Friday finally came, she kissed me goodbye at the door, suitcase in hand. "Promise you'll miss me," she teased. "Promise you'll behave," I replied, smiling faintly. She winked. "Always." I watched her car disappear down the street. My heart felt heavy but not shattered, not yet. The truth has a way of eroding love slowly, like a tide eating away at the shore. Once she was gone, I got in my truck and drove to the airport. I didn't follow her onto the flight. I didn't even need to. Instead, I called a friend, Jason, an old college buddy who worked at a security firm. I told him I needed help tracking a location. Discreetly. "Marriage trouble?" he asked gently. I hesitated. "You could say that." Within hours, he sent me a pin drop and a few blurry photos. In Vegas. Laughing. Holding a drink. Her arm around Mike. His hand on her waist. There it was. The death of trust caught in pixels. She came back 2 days later, glowing tan, carrying the scent of hotel perfume and guilt. "How was your weekend?" I asked. "Exhausting," she said, sighing dramatically. "You know how girls' trips are. Too much shopping, not enough sleep." He nodded. "Did you win anything?" She laughed. "Only a hangover." Smiled back. "Well, at least you didn't marry Mike Tyson." He chuckled. "Oh, stop it. You're ridiculous." I leaned forward, voice soft. "Funny you mention Vegas. Mike texted me about it this morning." Her face drained of color instantly. What? "Yeah," I continued calmly. "He said you two had a great time. Said the hotel was... What was it? Luxurious, I think." She opened her mouth, closed it again, searching for words that wouldn't come. You're misunderstanding." "Am I?" "Yes. Because I have pictures, Emma. I have proof." She froze, eyes wide, lips trembling. For the first time in years, she looked small, fragile even. "Please, just let me explain," she whispered. "Go ahead. It wasn't supposed to happen. One drink turned into two and into a weekend." I finished, my voice sharp enough to cut through the air. Tears welled in her eyes. "I didn't mean to hurt you." I laughed bitterly. "You didn't mean to get caught, you mean." We sat in silence for a long time, the air thick with everything unsaid. Finally I spoke. "You know what hurts the most? It's not that you slept with him. It's that you looked me in the eyes every day and pretended everything was fine." She sobbed quietly, her face buried in her hands. "I don't know why I did it. I just felt lost. You've been so distant lately. Because I've been trying to hold this marriage together while you were tearing it apart." Snap. Her sobs grew louder, echoing through the kitchen that had once been filled with laughter. I stood up slowly, grabbed my keys and walked to the door. "Where are you going?" she whispered. "Out," I said. "To breathe." I drove for hours. No destination. Just the hum of the engine and the weight of betrayal pressing against my chest. When I finally pulled over by the coast, the sky was bruised purple with dusk. The waves crashed against the rocks, wild and merciless. I stood there, staring at the horizon, thinking about all the things we'd built, the memories, the promises, the quiet mornings over coffee, and how easily one lie could erase it all. The next morning I came home to silence. Emma sat on the couch, her eyes red, suitcase by her side. "I'll go," she said softly. "You don't have to ask." He nodded. "Where will you go?" "Sarah's for now." "Okay." She hesitated, standing. "For what it's worth, I did love you, Daniel." "Did?" I repeated. "Yeah, I guess you did." She walked to the door, paused, then turned back. "You're not going to say goodbye." I looked at her, really looked at her, for the first time in days. The woman I'd loved for 7 years, the one who once promised me forever, now just a stranger holding a suitcase. "Goodbye, Emma." She nodded, tears spilling down her cheeks, and left. The sound of the door clicking shut was the softest, yet loudest thing I'd ever heard. It's been 3 months now. The house feels emptier but also quieter. Cleaner somehow. I've started sleeping better, cooking for one, rediscovering the peace I didn't realize I'd lost. Sometimes I still think of her, of what we had, what we destroyed. I wonder if she ever regrets it. If she ever looks back on that weekend in Vegas and realizes it wasn't just a fling, it was the line she could never uncross. Last week I got a text from an unknown number. "Emma, I'm sorry. I think about you every day. I stared at it for a long time, then deleted it. Because some words can't rebuild what actions have burned to the ground. And yet, sometimes late at night, I still hear her laughter in the kitchen, that same teasing tone. Maybe I'll come back married to Mike Tyson. I almost smile. Almost. Then I remember how quickly jokes can turn into lies. And how a single sentence can wipe the smile off a face. Forever.